Hello everybody, welcome to the next game in the Demolition League 2015 Strat-O-Matic. We are at the only game that was not on video in the first round or the first series, which is from Cleveland, the Giants and the Indians. This is the third game in their series. In yesterday's game, which was played on April the 14th on the calendar, actually on the 15th rather, on the calendar, because the 13th they played, 14th they were off, and now they're back on the 15th. Game number 7 overall, and it was the Indians defeating the Giants rather handily, 7-1. Danny Salazar, 7 solid innings. 3 errors on the Giants really did them in, and then in the first inning the Indians put 2 up on Chris Heston, and he never really had a chance the rest of the way. So the Indians even that series at a game apiece, and now we are at Game 3 of the series, and I did a whole intro into player rest and pitcher injury and all that stuff, and then the video messed up on me, so I had to restart. And so I've already done all these things, so I'll kind of backtrack just to show people what I did and how I did it. I do believe Tenacious Earl has already done a video on this back when he was doing his TBL, but just in case, or for the sake of people that maybe haven't seen it, this is what I'm going to be using. Even though I'm doing all advanced, I am going to use the super advanced injury and rest chart. So what you do is you pick each team and you roll 1d6, and whatever it turns up, those are the players that have to be subject to rest. Now when I rolled for the Giants, they rolled the number 5, which was second base, right field, and DH. And so on the previous game, second base was Panic, right field was Pence, and the DH was Pagan. So I checked all 3 of them based on their at-bats and walks, add them up, roll 1d20, and if it fell in the range, they had to rest. And as it turns out, Joe Panic and Hunter Pence had to rest, Pagan did not. Did the same thing for the Cleveland Indians. I rolled a 3, which was second base, catcher, and left field. And again, if we pull up the score sheet from the previous game, that is Kipnis, that is Brantley, and that is Gomes. And as it turned out, Gomes was the only one that needed rest. I was probably going to rest him anyway and give him the 3rd game off of the series, and so I could get Roberto Perez a game in. So that really didn't hurt him too much. So Gomes was the only one that had to rest. Now for pitchers, I had been using the 6-12 with the DH thing in the first game, but I want more injuries. Not to sound horrible, but I really want more injuries so I can use more guys. So I went in and pulled out the roster sheet from the 2015 season, and they had these new ratings, these new rules that came in effect in 2016 for the 2015 replay, where not only is it, you don't use the 6-12 for the DH, but you use based on how many innings pitched or starts or whatever that the pitcher had. And in each of the roster sheets, there are numbers behind each of the starting pitchers. Like in this case, Carlos Carrasco for the Indians has a 1 by his name. So 1 by his name means that if we roll a 6-12, no matter who is at bat, a 6-12, he is subject to injury. And then if that roll comes up, then we move on to the injury chart, which is right next to it. Roll 1d20 and see what kind of injury we have. And then this will tell us the maximum injuries based on innings pitched by the pitchers. So obviously the ones with higher innings pitched are going to have lesser chance of being out for an extended period of time. I also was going to do injuries by 1/3 since I'm doing 1/3 of the season, but I really want, like I said, to use the depth. So I am using, if an injury comes up, they're getting the full injury. And that happened to the Cincinnati Reds in the second game of their series. Billy Hamilton is now out 8 games, so they're going to have to, do some rearranging on their roster and let the manager do some managing. All right, for the Giants and their starting pitcher today, it is Tim Hudson. He's a 2, so Tim Hudson being a 2 means a 6-11 would be his injury check. So just wanted to, I did a whole presentation on that, and I meant to pause the video and hit stop, and it screwed up, so I had to go from there. Now, since we have not done the Giants or the Indians on a video yet, I haven't done the rosters and the bullpens, the 25-man rosters and the bullpens, so I want to do that now for both teams so you know where they stand. All right, for the Giants on their bench, they do have the two guys that had to rest, Hunter Pence and Joe Panik. They also have Casey McGee, and they have backup catcher Andrew Suzak. All right, so those are the bench players. Each team, again, has at least two lefty relievers. Giants, no different. They have Javier Lopez and Jeremy Affeldt from the right side. They have Yasmiro Petit, George Cantos, Hunter Strickland, Sergio Romo, and the closer Santiago Casilla from the right side. So 7 relief pitchers along with 5 starters gives them the 12 pitchers on their roster. And the 4 subs with the 9 starters gives them the 13 to make the full 25. So the starting lineup for the Giants, leading off in left field will be Nori Aoki. Batting second, the DH, Angel Pagan. Hitting third and playing the catching position, Buster Posey. Batting cleanup at first base is Brandon Belt. Batting fifth at third base is Matt Duffy. Batting sixth and playing shortstop, Brandon Crawford. Hitting seventh and playing right field for the rested Hunter Pence is Justin Maxwell. Batting eighth and playing second base for the rested Joe Panik is Ari Adrianza. And batting ninth in center field is Gregor Blanco. And of course, your starting pitcher for the Giants is Tim Hudson. So those are the 25-man rosters for the Giants. Now we'll look at the same thing for the Cleveland Indians. Look at their rest roll, and like I said, Yan Gomes was the only one that had to rest. So on their bench, they have one lefty on the bench. They have David Murphy, who would later go to the Angels. They also have Ryan Rayburn, Jerry Sands, and of course the rested Yan Gomes. On their on their bullpen, of course, the standard 2 lefties, just so they're not left out. And the 2 left-handed relievers that they have, one is Nick Hagadone, and I'm short a reliever. I must have put one of those guys as a starter, and I don't know why. Oh, I know why, because this guy pitched 2 innings yesterday, so he's going to be rested today, but he is on the bullpen roster, and that's Austin Adams. That's why I was short a guy. And the other lefty is Mark Chebzymski. Then we have right-handers, Cody Allen. Actually, he's the closer. Cody Allen's the closer. Ryan Webb, Zach McAllister, who's a relief pitcher that did have a start, but even as a starter, he's not rated that way because I believe it was probably one of those opener deals. And then Brian Shaw is the other reliever. So those are the bench and bullpens for both teams. But like I said, Austin Adams will only pitch if they run out of pitchers. That's because he pitched 2 innings yesterday. All right. Starting lineup for the Indians, their starting pitcher, of course, is Carlos Carrasco. And the lineup, Michael Bourne leads off in center field, Jason Kipnis at second, Michael Brantley in left, Carlos Santana at first, bats cleanup. DH is Brandon Moss, he will hit 5th. Jose Ramirez, the shortstop, will hit 6th. Lonnie Chisenhall in right field will hit 7th. Mike Aviles is at third base, hitting 8th. And Roberto Perez, the catcher, will bat 9th. So there are your starting lineups and bullpens and bench for both teams. And we'll bring everything into place. Let me do a check to make sure everything is going to show up correctly. And back by, I guess you want to call it popular demand, I have the dice tray back. The dice were kind of flying off, and I noticed on some of the videos the dice would get out of frame and you wouldn't be able to see what it was. So we'll go ahead and make sure the dice tray is back. And as you can see, when we roll the dice, hopefully you can see everything. All right. Carlos Carrasco is the starting pitcher for the Indians. This is the rubber game of the 3-game series. And on the 2015 season, Carrasco 14-12 with a 3.63 ERA. So Carrasco will get the start. And Nori Aoki, the left fielder, will lead things off. I've got my defensive charts here, so I know at a glance what the defensive ratings are for each of the teams. I have the advanced fielding chart. So even though we did the super advanced thing for the rest and the injuries, everything else from here on out is advanced only. And we'll move on from here and get this rubber game underway. And overall, game number 12, played on April the 16th, 2015, game 3 of the Series 1. So this was what they call the rubber match. All right, so Carlos Carrasco facing Aoki. Let me make sure everything looks like it's copacetic. And we are ready to go here from Cleveland. 6-11 against the lefty is a strikeout. So Carrasco gets the strikeout on Aoki to start the ball game. 1 down. And the Giants in the previous game only mustered 3 hits and 1 run. So they're having an offensive, little bit of a dormancy on their offense. So they're trying to shake things up. They were batting Pagan back in the 8th position and Panic number 2. But since Panic had to rest, we flip-flopped those positions so that Pagan can get a little bit higher up in the order. Carrasco 6-9 against the lefty. That's an in-home run chance right here. Switch hitter batting left, I should say. In-home run chance 1-12, but he has weak power against lefties or against righties, against both actually. So it can't be a home run. It can be a single 1-12 and a double 13-20. And that's a single for Pagan. So had he had better power, that would have been a home run. All right, he is a B stealer, so let's see the catcher arm in this case for the Indians. Perez, his arm rating is a -1. So a B stealer starts with a 13, being held drops him by 2. I'm sorry, drops him by 3, makes him a 10, and then the -1 from Perez makes it a 9. So on a 1-9 with Posey and Bell coming up, they're going to hold Pagan. They don't want to run themselves out of an inning. Posey is a hit and run B, but he's got some pop too. You don't want to take the pop out of his bat. So I think, you know what? I wonder if we should hit and run though. No, we're going to go ahead and swing away. All right, that's a 5-11, and that's a strikeout. So had we swung away, don't know what might have happened on that, but that is a strikeout for out number 2, and that brings up Brandon Belt. 6-11, and that would be an injury check for Hudson, but not for Carrasco. He's a 6-12, so the 6-11 is okay. And it's a strikeout. You better believe it's okay. He strikes out the side, actually, does Mr. Carrasco. And despite the 1-out single by Pagan, the Giants go away pretty lame. All right, Tim Hudson, 8-9, 4.44 ERA and 22 starts for the G-men. And again, 6-11 would be his injury check if we rolled that. Leading off for the Indians will be center fielder Matt Bourne. He had been batting 9th, but I bumped him up to leadoff in this one. So Bourne against Hudson. It's a 4-4, and it's a ground ball third base X. That is the third baseman Duffy, and Duffy checks in at the third base position as a 2. 2 and a 13 is probably an error check. 2 and a 13 is an error check. Duffy checks in with an E rating of 15. 15 and a 4 as a third baseman. A 15, E15 and a 4 is a 1-base error. There it is. 3 through 6 is a 1-base error. I know some people say that the advance creates more errors than it probably should, but we'll test that theory out. They made 3 errors yesterday. They start out the game with an error here, so maybe there's some truth to that. We shall see. Michael Bourne definitely looking to run, as he is an A stealer. The arm for Buster Posey is a -2, so A stealer starts out with a 15, -2 for being held as a 13, and the -2 arm is an 11. A 1-11, but you know what? He's going to try it. 1-11, he's going to try it. And he's in there, stolen base for Michael Bourne. He will be held at second base with nobody out. And here comes Jason Kipnis. 210 for Kipnis. That's a walk. So first and second, this game is starting out eerily like the last game where the starting pitcher Heston ran into first inning trouble. Here's Michael Brantley. 1-8 for Brantley. That's another walk, and that's going to load the bases. Heston ran into defensive problems and walks in his outing, and Tim Hudson's looks like he's going to get the same fate. Bases are loaded, nobody out. They're playing back for double play. They need outs. They'll give a run to get the out for sure, or to get 2 outs rather. 3-8, and that is a ground ball pitcher A, so it will be a double play. But I believe in advance, we're not going to do 1, 2, 3 like you might be able to do in super advance. This is going to go 1, 6, 3 for the double play. The run will score. Michael Bourne will score. No RBI given, and Kipnis will go to third. So Kipnis is at third with 2 down and 2 outs now with a run in. And now Brandon Moss. Hudson needs to get Moss to get out of this inning with only 1 run against him. So before I use, I'll kind of try to do both if I can. If I think about it, I'll kind of roll the dice in my hand and then put it in the tray. See if that helps. 3-4, that's a strikeout. It certainly helped Hudson. And he gets away with only 1 run allowed. It could have been a lot worse. Indians pick up 1 and lead it 1-0. As we go to the top of the second. And Matt Duffy, who made that error, will be leading things off for the Giants. And this phone, sometimes when I'm recording this phone, sometimes if I move in front or have some activity down here, it will cause things to blur. So every inning, I think I'm going to stand up and look, because I can't see through the phone. The phone's above my head, so I can't see it unless I stand up to play, which I really don't want to do. So about every inning or so, I will kind of glance over and make sure that it's not blurry. All right, here is Matt Duffy, going to make up for that error. 4-9, and he strikes out, so that didn't do him very good. Duffy's had a rough game, an error and a strikeout. Here's Brandon Crawford. Oh, I forgot I was going to mix those up. 6-7, and that's another strikeout for Carrasco. Boy, all 5 of his outs so far have been strikeouts. And that brings up Justin Maxwell. This will be his first at bat of the season as he's starting for the rested Hunter Pence. 2-11, and he grounds it to second. Easy play for Kipnis, and it's another 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Carrasco. And the Giants' offensive woes continue. We go to the bottom of the second, still 1-0. And Jose Ramirez, shortstop, he will play short for a while until Francisco Lindor is ready to join the team. Then he will move to third base or other positions. But right now he's playing short. He's their main shortstop. Hudson 4-6, switch hitter 4-6. That's a single to left field for Jose Ramirez. Leadoff single. He's a B stealer. But again, with the -2, that would be a -5 total. So it'd be a 1-8. They're not going to risk it on a 1-8. Chisenhall will swing away. Usually plays third base, but today he's playing right field. 1-8, and he flies to left. 1 away. And somebody wants to ride down the road, play the radio real loud. Don't know why they want to do that, but that's just what they want to do. Makes them feel better, I guess. All right, here's Mike Aviles. This is his first start of the new season as a third baseman, or anywhere really. 210, that's a single. There's no clutch in regular advanced. Plus, we're not even in a clutch situation anyway, but it is a base hit to left. And with the ball going to left field, Ramirez will hold at second base. So runners at first and second with 1 out, and catcher Roberto Perez, his first start, as Yan Gomes caught the first 2 games. Perez is up to face Hudson, and Hudson in trouble again. 4-7, that's a fly to center. Since it went to center and not to right, the runner cannot have a chance to move up, so he will stand pat. 2 down for Michael Bourne. He reached on the Duffy error his first time up. 2-5, and that is a walk. That's going to load the bases. So again, base runners galore for the Indians. And Hudson trying to pitch out of this mess. He's got to deal with Jason Kipnis and hope that he doesn't roll a 3 for Jason Kipnis, because his 3 column is loaded. 4 is a ground ball third base extra. Back to Duffy again. So Duffy once again trying this time to not make an error. He's a 2. 2-19. This time he will make the play. And the inning's over, and they leave them loaded. So you wonder if the Indians might regret leaving these base runners on base, but the way the Giants' offense is, it may not matter. All right, Carrasco back out. We'll be facing Eri Adrianza, second baseman, subbing for the rested Joe Panic. 6'11", but again, Carrasco's a 6'12", so the 6'11 is not going to be an injury check. It's going to be a strikeout. So once again, another strikeout for Carlos Carrasco. And here's Gregor Blanco, center fielder. 2-3, and that's a fly to right. And Chisenhall puts that away. 2 down. Back to the top of the order for Nori Aoki. 4-10, and that is a fly to center. Not super advanced. There's no ballpark to worry about. It's just a fly to center. And the inning's over. So again, Giants go meekly here in the top of the third. Carrasco large and in charge so far. Hudson trying to get a clean inning if he can. He's had struggles the first 2 innings. And now he's got to deal with Michael Brantley, Santana, and Moss, heart of the order. Make sure, yeah, everything's shown on camera. Okay. You can see the whole lineup. I want to make sure the lineup didn't get cut off. Here's Brantley, 1-6, and that's a 1-19 single, so almost a guaranteed single here. And it is, so it's a leadoff single for Michael Brantley, and base runners again show up for the Indians. Brantley's an A stealer. He stole 15 bases, only caught once on this 15 season. As an A stealer, he's a 15, being held makes him a 13. We should take the 2 away. And then -2 from Posey is an 11. 1-11, he's going to try it. And he's in there, stolen base just barely, but he beat the tag by Adrianza. And he is in there, stolen base. So Brantley's in scoring position with nobody out for Carlos Santana. He will have to be held. 6-8, and that's a single, 2 stars, and that stolen base produces a run. And the Indians now lead it 2-0 on the RBI single from Carlos Santana. Santana back then a B stealer, so he will have to be held. He won't go anywhere. I'm holding C and above. I'm not going to hold D's and E's. Hudson's still in trouble. They got Yosmiro Petit in the bullpen loosening as a long reliever, but they may need him. There's Moss. 2-10 for Moss. That's a ground ball pitcher A. That'll help the cause. It'll go 1-6-3. Another double play. Second double play Cleveland's hit into. And that clears the bases. So 2 down, bases empty. 1 run is in. It's 2-0 Cleveland. It's Jose Ramirez. 6-8, and that's another single. So a 2-out single for Jose Ramirez. And let's see. I think they're going to hold him up. They're not going to try to run on him. Here's Chisenhall. 2-5, and that's a pop out to short. There's a clutch, but again, we're only playing advanced. Plus, the runner's not in scoring position anyway, but since we're doing advanced, we ignore the clutch symbol. Simply a pop out to short. But the Indians pick up another run thanks to the base hit from Santana after Brantley singled and stole second. We go to the top of the fourth. 2-0 Indians, and here is Angel Pagan. Has the only hit of the game for San Francisco. 1-10. He will fly to left. He's been the only base runner, as a matter of fact. Here's Buster Posey. 5-9. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Ramirez. And at short, Ramirez is a 3-30. So it's a 3. 3 and an 8. That might be an error check for a shortstop, and it is. Anything 8 to 12 is an error check. So he checks in error-wise as an E30. E30 and an 8. Let's see what the chart says on that. E30 and an 8. Actually, it's a good play this time. E30 and an 8 is a ground ball A. So this time there is no error. It's a good play by Ramirez, and Posey is retired. Brings up Brandon Belt. 6-3. Ground ball pitcher X, he's a 3. He's an E0, so if he gets to it, then he will make the play. He's a 3. 3 and a 17 for a pitcher. Goes to the error check, but since he's an E0, he will make the play. And another 1-2-3 inning turned in by Carrasco. He is shutting down the Giants. Tim Hudson struggled every inning. And Mike Aviles, third baseman, will start things off for the Indians. He singled his first chance. 3-8. That's ground ball to third. Duffy, no problem this time. He makes the play, and here's the catcher, Roberto Perez. 3-9, and that's a 1-15 home run for Roberto Perez. A 1-15, it is gone. It is gone. Roberto Perez out of the number 9 hole hits a home run to give the Indians a 3-0 lead. Perez on the season, he only hit 7 home runs, but he found his home run chance right there. 1-15, he did it. So it's 3-0. And Yasmiro Petit again begins to loosen in the Giants bullpen. As Hudson, just not his day, apparently. Michael Bourne, 6-3. That's a ground ball to second. So Adrianza puts that away for out number 2. And that'll take us to Jason Kipnis. 4-8. And that's a 1 for a triple. Anything else will be a single. 2-out single for Jason Kipnis. He's a beast dealer, but they're gonna hold him there and let Brantley see what he can do. 6-10. Remember, Hudson's a 6-11 for injury, but this is a 6-10, which is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Crawford. He is a 1. 1-14 for a shortstop is a ground ball A. So call it a 6-4 fielder's choice, as it would have been a double play had there been less than 2 outs. But the run scores, and we go to the 5th. It is now 3-0 Cleveland, and the way San Francisco's offense is going, every run that Cleveland puts on the board is just making them further and further away from feeling like they can come back in this game. Cleveland looking to take 2 out of 3 after dropping the opener. Here's Matt Duffy. 2-7 for Duffy, and that's a ground ball to short. Ramirez, Johnny on the spot, 1 away. So except for that single by Pagan, Carrasco would be tossing a no-no right now. Tired of everybody else. 2-10. It's a ground ball back to Carrasco. So the Giants, not only are they making outs, but they're hardly getting the ball out of the infield. Here's Justin Maxwell. 3-10 for Maxwell, and that's a ground ball back to Carrasco again. So, boy, they're just anemic on the offensive end. And I think Hudson, he may be done. His fatigue is a 6. But, he's pitching so poorly. How do they want to play this? They're going to let him try the 5th. If he gets in any kind of trouble, Petit's coming in. So here's Carlos Santana. 3-10 for Santana. 1-2 is a triple. Anything else, he flies deep to left. And that's a 5, so it's a deep fly to left field. Hudson avoids danger there. 1 down for Brandon Moss. He struck out and hit into a double play, so he's had a rough time of it. 5-8, and he's going to ground second base X. That is Adrianza, not Panic. If Panic was out there, he would be a 1, but Adrianza's a 3. 3-14 for a second baseman. Is good play. Ground ball C, that's good enough. So 2 down, Adrianza makes a tough play. 2 up and 2 down, and that brings up Ramirez. 4-3, and that is a fly ball right field X. That's the new right fielder, Justin Maxwell. Not the new right fielder, but he's in place of Pence. And Maxwell is a 2 in right field. 2-1, that's going to get down for a base hit, maybe extra bases. It is a double. A 2-out double for Jose Ramirez, and I don't think Pence would have got to that either, so it didn't really matter at that point. Ramirez will be held. We do have Lonnie Chisenhall, the batter, and you wonder if the Giants might go to a lefty here to try to neutralize Chisenhall and keep this game within reach, and I think they will. So they're going to go to a lefty out of the bullpen, and it's going to be left-handed pitching Javier Lopez. So Lopez is on 1-0 with a 1.60 ERA in 39 innings pitched. He's in there to face one batter, and one batter only, and that's Chisenhall. They want to get Chisenhall out, and then they would bring in Petit to start the 6th. But right now, they just want to keep the score where it is. So Lopez is on. Hudson's going to go 4 2/3 and face, looks like 24 batters. All right, so Chisenhall now will face Lopez. Ramirez at second with 2 outs. He is being held on second base. Lopez to Chisenhall, lefty on lefty. 4-8, and that is a fly to right, and that's going to end the inning. So they pitch out of that jam and keep it from getting any worse, but at the end of 5, it's 3-0 Indians. Lopez will be lifted. He's only going to face the one batter. So he gets a third of an inning facing one batter. And then Yusmeiro Petit will come on and pitch. And may pitch the last 3 innings. He does have a relief rating of 3. So if he's effective, he may finish out the game depending on how the game flows. Carrasco, this is his point of weakness inning, but he doesn't look weak at all to me. He's going along very strongly with a 1-hitter. And Ari Adrianza will lead it off for the Giants, followed by Blanco and Aoki. 6-9, and that's a in-home run chance. Adrianza, though, has weak power. So it will be a hit, which you know what kind of a hit. 1 to 12 is a single, 13 to 20 is a double. And that's a 5, and I think that's the same role Pagan got his base hit on, if I'm not mistaken, because he was weak power also. So second hit, both of them coming off a 6-9 result. Adrianza, C-Stealer will be held, but he's not going to go anywhere down 3-0. And here's Blanco. 6-7, and that's a strikeout. So Carrasco back to his strikeout ways. 1 down, and here's Aoki. 4-6, and that's another strikeout. So rack up the strikeouts for Carrasco. He's mowing them down. Here's Angel Pagan. 3-4 for Pagan. That's a pop out to second, and that's going to end the inning. So just a meager leadoff single comes to nothing. And Carrasco has pitched 6 solid. He's going to keep pitching. At least 7. They're at least nobody's going to go beyond 7. But the way he's pitching, I think they're going to let him keep going. All right, so new pitcher for the Giants. It'll be Yusmeiro Petit, 1-1, 3.67 ERA, a save. It shows 1 start, but I believe that was an opener start because he's not rated as a starter. So I believe he did an opener thing. But he does have a 3 relief rating, so he is a long reliever. He can, if he's effective, he can finish out the game perhaps, save their bullpen. All right, here is Aviles to lead it off at third base against Petit, 5-11. And that's a fly ball to left. There is no ballpark effect to worry about. Fly ball to left, 1 away. And one thing I forgot to do with Petit was check his injury chances. I didn't do it with Lopez because I know he's only faced 1 batter. Let's look at this for Petit. Petit comes in with a 1. So Petit is a 6-12. So we're going to write 6-12 here next to Petit. If we roll a 6-12, he is subject to injury. But as it is, a fly to left by Aviles, 1 away. Here's Roberto Perez. He homered his last time up. 2-7. He's going to strike out this time. That's out number 2. 2 down, and that's going to bring up Michael Bourne. Leadoff man. Reached on an error, walked, and grounded to second. 6-4, and that is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Crawford. He's a 1. 1 and an 11 goes to an error rating. And for Crawford, his error rating is a E16. E16 and a 5. Oops, wrong side. E16 and a 5 for the shortstop position. E16 and a 5 is an error. So there we go, another error. This one on Crawford. Second error of the game by the Giants. They made 3 the previous game. This one on Crawford, 1 on Duffy, and now 1 on Crawford. Bourne an A-stealer, but I think they're going to hold him tight, or not let him steal. He only stole 13 bases on the season, so don't want to wear out the stolen base attempts. I want to kind of parse them out. It's not up 3-0. There's really no point in it. Kipnis 5-9. And that's an in-home run right off the bat against Petit. He does have normal power. It is gone. Jason Kipnis, a 2-run homer. And that error comes back to bite San Fran big time. 2 unearned runs come in. It is now 5-0 Cleveland as Jason Kipnis goes deep. He hit 9 homers on the season. But that straight-up in-home run chance off Petit really did him in. 5-0. Here's Brantley. 5-12, and that's a ground ball first base X. That's Brandon Belt. Brandon Belt checks in as a 1. 1 and a 4, and I believe that's a good play. Yes, it is. Ground ball A, but since it's off the X chart, we'll call it a 3-1 put out. And 2 runs come in for the Indians on the 2-run homer by Kipnis. 6 innings in the books, and Cleveland has this one seemingly in control, up 5-0. Carrasco will come back out to pitch probably just the 7th, and then he'll go to the bullpen after that. Do another check real quick. Everything looks copacetic. All right, so Giants in big time trouble. They got to get their hitting shoes on. Next series they play, they don't want to be hitting like this. Carrasco 3-11 to Blanco, and that's a ground ball to the pitcher. We don't do this down here. That's super advanced. We go straight to the ground ball to Carrasco. And how many times have they hit a ground ball to Carrasco? That's what Carrasco has 4 assists as a pitcher. That's 4 ground ball pitcher plays on the Giants already, plus all their strikeouts. So they're getting weak contact big time. Here's, wait a minute, I don't need, that's supposed to be Posey. What is Blanco doing up there? I may have to redo that at bat. In fact, I will. I want to redo the at bat. Somehow these cards got out of order. I don't know how in the world that happened. That was really, really weird. Glad I caught that. All right. And I'm also glad I have correction tape to fix my mistakes. Because I don't know what in the world he was doing up batting when it should have been Posey. I don't know how they got out of order, but they did. Somehow it happened. So we'll start the 7th inning all over again with Buster Posey. 1-9. Foul out to the catcher. So he fouls out to Perez. 1 away. Here's Brandon Belt. 2-3. Ooh, he just missed an injury check, so it's a ground ball to first. Easy play for Santana. Came close to getting an injury check, but not quite. Here's Duffy. 3-10 for Duffy. He grounds it to third, and easy play for Aviles. And boy, Carrasco, 7 solid, easy innings for Carrasco. He's going to go 7 innings, face 23 batters, and he's, of course, subject to be the winner in this one unless Cleveland somehow, or San Francisco somehow miraculously comes back. Petit will come back out, I believe, or will they go to their bullpen again? They're going to let Petit go at least 1 more inning. They may have somebody else have to pitch the 8th. We'll see. Carlos Santana will lead it off against Petit. 4-8, and that's bad news. 1-2 is a triple. Anything else will be a single. And that's a single for Santana. And now the Giant bullpen loosening again. And let's see who they would bring in. They used Contos, Affelt, and Strickland in the previous game. So they do have Sergio Romo loosening in the bullpen, just in case. And they also have Jeremy Affelt, a lefty. Right now here is Brandon Moss. 5-5, and that's a walk off Petit. And that's going to put runners at first and second. Nobody out. And you know what? They're going to the bullpen right now. So they're going to bring in the other lefty, Jeremy Affelt, to try to get out of the inning. Petit ends up facing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 batters faced. And he ends up pitching 1 inning, 1+. So the new pitcher for the Giants, and they'll probably have Romo pitch the 8th, but they're going to try to get Affelt to get through the inning. Affelt 2-2, 5.86 ERA and no saves as a lefty. Ramirez not quite as good against lefties as he is against righties. It looks like on his card at least. Plus, you got lefty Chisenhall coming up after him. First and second, nobody out. And it's up to Affeldt to try to stop the bleeding, so to speak. 2-8, and that's a fly to center. One away. Hauled in by Blanco, rather. One down. Here's Chisenhall, lefty on lefty matchup. 4-4, and that is a fly ball center field X. Center fielder is Blanco. Gregor Blanco is a 2 in center field. 2-1, though. That's bad news. They get a bad break on that roll. 2-1 as a center fielder is a double 2 stars. So one run will score. The other runner, Moss, will have to stop at third, but it is an RBI double. That run is charged to Petit. Double by Chisenhall, lefty on lefty, but with the range of Blanco not quite good enough to get to it. Second and third, one out. Infield has to come in. They really have no choice. Here's Aviles. 5-4. That's a ground ball shortstop X. That is Crawford. He's a 1. 1 and a 5 for Crawford. A 1 and a 5 is a ground ball A. So if we look at the chart, ground ball A, run on third holds, and everybody else is out. Or batter is out and everybody else holds, I should say. So it's 6-3 ground out for out number 2. And that'll bring up Roberto Perez, infield back to normal with 2 outs. We get a 5-5, and that's another ground ball shortstop X. We're checking Crawford again. Oops, again, he is a 1. 1 out of 20 is a good play, ends the inning. But a run is in, and at the end of 7, it is 6-0 now in favor of Cleveland. And Carrasco will be lifted, and he will get the handshakes from Terry Francona all around. And now we'll go to the bullpen, and let's see who the Indians choose to bring in. With a lead like this, it may not matter. Like I said, Austin Adams pitched 2 innings last game, so he is definitely not going to come in. They could go to, let's see who they want to go to here. I believe they're going to go to Zach McAllister. Zach McAllister, 4-4, even ERA of 3 with 1 save. He did have a start, but I believe, again, that was one of those opener deals. And leading off would be Crawford, Maxwell, and Adrianza, lefty, righty, and a switch. So it really didn't matter who you brought in. And it's 6-0, so it probably doesn't matter anyway. So McAllister facing Crawford. 6-9. Oh, I forgot to check the injury. Make sure it's not an injury for McAllister. McAllister's injury rating is a 1, so it's a 6-12 for McAllister. So he doesn't have to worry about that. So the result being a 6-9 against the lefty. That's a straight out single. So Brandon Crawford gets himself a base hit. I'm sure the Giants are glad to see Carrasco no longer in the ball game. So leadoff single for Crawford. Of course, he will be held, but actually, no, he's not even going to be held. 6-0, they're not even going to hold him. So here is Maxwell. And here I'm going to use something that Tenacious Earl used also with runner indifference. It's not going to be an automatic advance. We're going to use the run rating, which is a 1-14. If we roll a 1-14, he will take second on defensive indifference. A 15-19, he will hold, and 20, he will be thrown out being careless. Whoops. So let's see what we get. That's a 20. He's thrown out being careless. How bad can it go for the Giants? I'm telling you. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. He gets thrown out. He thought the Indians were giving him a defensive indifference freebie, and not so fast, my friend. So that's just the way it's going for the Giants. Here's Maxwell. 2-6, struck him out. And I kind of like that now from what Tenacious Earl did. That way you don't just get the freebie. If you're sleeping over there and just kind of jog over there, they'll throw down and get you. So 2 down for Adrianza. 2-7, that's a walk. 2-out walk to Adrianza. And he will not try the defensive indifference thing. They're not going to take that chance again. Here's Blanco. 1-9 for Blanco, and he grounds it back to McAllister. Another ground ball to the pitcher again. Giants seem to like doing that. That's going to end the inning, no problems. McAllister is going to go 1 inning facing 4 batters. And they'll bring in a new pitcher to pitch the 9th for the Indians to wrap it up. For the Giants, they will bring in Sergio Romo, as he will come on. And let's see here, for Affeldt, he goes 1 inning, faces 4 batters. So both he and Lopez are both available to pitch the next game, so they're not going to be worried about being overly fatigued. Sergio Romo, 0-5, 2.98 ERA and 2 saves. Former closer of the Giants, but later in his career kind of went to a setup role. And now Michael Bourne will lead things off, top of the order for the Indians. Bourne, Kipnis, and Brantley, 3 lefties, but they don't have any lefties remaining, and they don't want to wear out Affeldt. So in a 6-0 game, you don't worry about lefty-righty. Romo, 5-8, and that is a fly to right. He's not tired. So there's 1 away, and we'll check Romo for injury on his injury chance. For Romo, he is a 0, so he cannot get injured. So when you're 0, there's no chance of an injury, no matter what the role is. So Bourne is retired, and here's Kipnis. Had a big home run last time up to kind of seal the deal. 4-6, and he's going to single. So Kipnis, his 3rd hit of the game. Took the hat trick with 3 strikeouts in the previous game, but he's coming back with a vengeance in this one. 6-0, they're not going to hold him, and they're not going to push the issue. As Francona says, just, play it station to station. Here's Brantley, 3-10, foul out to Posey. That's out number 2. And that'll bring up Santana. 6-9 for Santana, switch hitter batting left. That's a double to right field. Double to right field, but with, let's see, they're playing station to station. That's the rule I said, so we're going to hold him at 3rd base, even with 2 outs. Kipnis runs at a 15. There are 2 outs, makes him a 17. The double went to to right field. Let's check Maxwell's arm. Maxwell checks in as a -1. So yeah, we're going to hold him there. And bring up Brandon Moss with 2 outs and runners at 2nd and 3rd. 6-6, and that's a 1-12 single. 1-12 will be a single 1 star. And it's a single, so Kipnis is going to score anyway. That run is charged to Romo. So he's trying to finish out the inning if he can. So a single. Kipnis will score. Santana on the 1 star will stop at 3rd. It is now 7-0 Cleveland. And Ramirez the batter. 1-9. He's going to ground it back to Romo to end the inning. So Romo is going to end up facing 6 batters and giving up the run. 7-0. We go to the 9th. And new pitcher for Cleveland to mop things up. Let's see who that's going to be. Looks like they're going to go to a lefty, Nick Hagedorn. One of their 2 lefties. Nick Hagedorn will be coming on. He is 0-1 with a 4.28 ERA. So he will get a chance to pitch. And he'll be facing Aoki, Pagan, and Posey unless they want to go to their bench. They're going to pull Aoki, will the Giants. And they're going to let Casey McGee get a chance to pinch hit. He hasn't hit this year, so they're going to give Casey McGee. It looks like it's pronounced McGeehee, but it looks like it should be pronounced McGeehee, but I believe it's pronounced McGee. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. So Hagedorn, the pitcher, trying to complete the shutout. And let's check his injury rating. Hagedorn is a 6. So as a 6, that means a 6-7 he would be injured. So we got to make sure he doesn't get injured. But if we roll a 6-7, he is subject to injury. That's a 2-9, so don't have to worry about that. Against the lefty, that's a ground ball to short by McGee, or McGeehee, however you pronounce it. 1 away, and here's Angel Pagan. 6-7, there it is, right on cue. There's the injury check for Hagedorn. So he could be in trouble really quickly. He rolled that 6-7, which is his injury check. As we look at Hagedorn, he is a 6 on the chart, on the roster sheet, which means a 6-7 is your error check. So now we're going to go over here to the injury check for pitchers. Roll 1d20. He has to hope he gets a low number. He does, a 2, so he's okay. He can stay in the game. So a good break there, as he very well could have been injured. Now, 6-7, I need to go ahead and finish the at-bat with the 6-7 roll. That is a single to right field for Angel Pagan. Almost forgot to actually do the result. So 6-7 for Pagan. He gets the base hit, but Terry Francona held his breath there for a minute, thinking he was going to have an injury to deal with. Here's Buster Posey. He's 0 for 3. 6-8. Boy, almost hit it again, but this time it's a 6-8, so it's a strikeout. So Hagedorn living dangerously. And that brings up Brandon Belt. Last chance for the Giants. 2-6 against the lefty is a walk, so that's going to keep the ball game going. One more batter. First and second. 2 down for Matt Duffy. Hagedorn needs to get out of this to keep the shutout intact. 6-8. Boy, he just missed the injury again, but it's a strikeout. Talk about living dangerously. Hagedorn had an injury check and came two chances, one away from another injury check. But as it is, the Indians win it 7-0 over the Giants. Not really a close game. I was hoping for closer on a video, but you never know what you're going to get when you roll a video. Roll a game for video, you never know what's going to happen. Hagedorn goes 1 inning and faces 5 batters. So we'll do the totals for both teams. It won't take long to add up the Giants' totals. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits for the Giants. So in the last 2 games, if we look at the previous game, the last 2 games, the Giants in the last 18 innings, they have 1 run and 7 hits and 5 errors. That's what they've done the last 2 games after winning the opener. For the Indians, let's see, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got them for 13 hits unofficially, and I'll put these in the computer to get the official numbers. But that's the unofficial result. Cleveland Indians thump the Giants and win the series 2-1. In Series 1, they will play the Giants again in San Francisco in the second half of the season. So maybe the Giants by then will have some better offensive numbers and maybe can exact some revenge. As it is, they win it 7-0. Carrasco, the winner, he's 1-0. Hudson, the loser, is 0-1. And of course, there is no save. But the Giants fall to 1-2. The Indians improve to 2-1. And they are finished for Series 1. They will wait till the other teams finish their Series 1 games, and then a whole new set of opponents will come up for Series number 2. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat-O-Matic, the 2015 Demolition League. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will see you all down the road.